Okay, so the question is, do I regret running an FXRT fairing on my Lowrider S? Let's check it out. Alright, what's going on YouTube? FXDLSBROOKLYN is back in the building. And we are coming at you live from the West Side Highway out here in New York City. And I don't know if you can see him behind me, continuing my ride out here with none other than Blade Brown on his 93 FXR. And in my previous video, you know, we were having a conversation about his situation where, you know, the last couple of rides we did, he was like, yeah man, when we get up into those high speeds, I feel like I'm just being punished by the wind, you know. So we were talking about what fairing would it make sense for him to put on that FXR. And then I also did a response to you all, which a lot of people were asking me for a FXRT versus Road Warrior comparison video, which I probably already dropped at this point. But then the other question was, like a very top comment I've been getting, was because I know a lot of you are seeing me ride the 06 a lot more, which is running a Road Warrior, and a lot of people are just saying, dude, what's going on? Why, I thought you were loving your FXRT fairing. Why are you not riding your bike that has that installed? Do you regret installing that fairing? Is that what's going on? So I figured I would address that in this video as we crush some beautiful New York City miles here on this wonderful Saturday. And yeah, for any of you that ride in New York City, the West Side Highway is littered with speed cams, so we are doing our best to stay low so we don't get a million tickets today. Alright, so to answer the question, you know, do I regret putting an FXRT fairing on my Lowrider S? And the answer to that question is a mix of an answer, right? The answer is yes and no. And I know I will elaborate on that. That might surprise you, right? But why don't we start with saying, for my unique situation, I can't say that for my unique situation that I regret it, just because I own multiple Dynas, and I'm fortunate enough to have one that's running a Road Warrior and then one that's running an RT, so I'm actually able to choose the right tool for the job with however I'm deciding to ride at any given time. So for my unique situation, I'm definitely not going to say I regret running an RT fairing on my Lowrider S, right? But that changes if I was someone who only had one Dyna, one bike. That would actually change my answer, right? So if the Lowrider S was my only bike and I didn't have the 116 running the Road Warrior that I'm on now, my answer would change, and I would actually say that a part of me might actually regret throwing that RT fairing on, just with the amount of city miles that I do on top of just high mileage days outside of the city. Right? Like, there's just been some situations where I'm doing a lot of city riding and I could just feel that, yeah, this fairing is definitely not the right tool for the job. So again, if I just had one Dyna, I don't know, guys. I think I would probably just run, from what I know and having the amount of miles that I do on a Road Warrior and what I know about an FXRT, I think I'd probably just run a Road Warrior if I only had one bike and I couldn't alternate between two different builds, right? Because again, I am someone that, yes, most days I'm on my bike, I'm going to be clocking 200 plus miles. You know how we ride on FXDLSBROOKLYN. We go fast and we go far. That's our riding philosophy. So in that regard of, you know, being someone who crushes miles, but also being someone that has to do tactical maneuvering, who has to do a lot of city riding, being from Brooklyn and New York City, the Memphis Shades Road Warrior is 100% the best fairing if you're in that type of situation where you do urban riding let's just take a second, get a little Fab 28 test here. I just wanted Lacey to make sure he got the full 06 experience today. Yo, how'd you like the sound of the pipe in the tunnel?
Oh my God, that's so loud. Like just on its own, like I can't even hear my bike. But then when you started hitting like the little bombs, like brah brah, it was like ear shattering. I was like, I see why you wear earphones now, or earplugs, because it's like that loud, and I'm like a car and a half space behind you, so I can only imagine sitting on top of that while it's going on. It's crazy.
But yeah, so I mean, the Memphis Shades Road Warrior will do it all. And again, I've done 2 cross-country trips, I've gone over international borders, all with a Road Warrior, and I felt very comfortable putting in very high mileage days with just having a Road Warrior. There was never a time where I got off the bike and I said to myself, man, I really am just getting punished by the wind. No, that never happened. The fairing did its job. So if I only had one bike, I would probably just stick to a Road Warrior fairing, right? But do I regret putting it on my Lowrider S as someone who again has the option of the 2 different bikes? 100% not. I would, the day I put that fairing on my Lowrider S, I probably had a smile from ear to ear, man. And every time I hop on my Lowrider S, even if I have to throw it around in some heavy city traffic, I am still very happy running that fairing on my Lowrider S. So it's a tough one, man. It's a really tough one because yes, that fairing makes crushing high mileage days at high speeds significantly more easy and doable, right? But at the same time, the Road Warrior will do it. I've put it to the test. My brother, the man in black, has put it to the test on all his ride 1Ks in 1 days. It'll 100% do it. It's just an FXRT fairing will do it significantly better. So yeah, it's like it's a complicated answer for me, and the answer would change if I wasn't fortunate enough to have an option when it comes to what bike I want to ride. So yeah, in regards to why have I been putting in more miles on the 06 or the Road Warrior lately, it's not because I regret running my FXRT fairing, or it's not because I miss a Road Warrior fairing or whatever. It's really just because the Lowrider is in the shop right now. You know, with having the Lowrider in the shop, this is, the 06 is going to become my main, you know? Which also, you know, the FXR is also in the shop, so FXR is not really an option right now either. So that's why we've been riding, that's why we've been showing the 06 a little bit more love lately. It's not because we regret the FXRT build, it's not because we miss the Road Warrior so much, it's just because the Lowrider is in the shop. My friends couldn't stand to see me run on a bald rear tire anymore, as well as we needed to fix another couple of we had to fix some other little things as well. That's kind of my response to that one, where again, if I was putting myself in a different position, say my situation in 2016, 2017, where I just had one main bike, right? I 100% would have stuck with a Road Warrior. But if you're either someone who does have multiple bikes, or if you're just someone that's not doing any type of urban riding at all, I would 100% throw an FXRT on there, man. Like, if you don't have to navigate city miles, if you don't have to really get yourself in positions where you're throwing your bike around, and you know that you're trying to go fast, and you know that you're trying to go far, 100% throw that FXRT fairing on there, assuming that you like the way that it looks, right? But yeah, that's really what I gotta say about that. I don't regret my RT choice, and I don't regret having a Road Warrior right now or all the years leading up to when I transitioned to an RT on my lowrider. I hope that helps. I hope that answers your question. Shout out to Blade Brown. Thank you for getting the good miles today. Yeah! Getting the full-on explosion. We're going to continue our nice little Manhattan ride as we go a little bit further. We're going to cross into Brooklyn, get some Long Island miles, have ourselves a day. But as always, regardless of what fairing you rock, stay safe out there and stay low. Listen to the bad brands. Get city miles, get highway miles, whatever you do, just make sure that you get miles. Alright, and on that, thanks for watching, thanks for riding with us, having a blast out here today, and FXDLS Brooklyn is out.